Just something for you to think about, okay? The Bible says we were made kings and priests under our God. So if you're a priest, you're a minister, okay? So he says here, unto me, there's an emphasis. In the Greek structure of wording, what they put at the beginning of a sentence is the emphasis. They don't wait to the end. They put it at the beginning. In other words, this is the emphasis. So Paul here says, I am persuaded that I went back to Romans 8. In Ephesians 3, he says, whereof I was made a minister, according to the gift of the grace of God given unto me by the effectual working of his power. Unto me. Almost like, can you believe it? Unto me. Well, if you knew his history, you can see why he was so shocked at that, right? And he says, who am less than the least of all saints. Why? Why would he even think that? Well, probably because of most saints hadn't done the stuff he had done before he was a saint. Is this grace given that I should preach among the Gentiles the unsearchable riches of Christ, and to make all men see what is the fellowship of the mystery, which from the beginning of the world hath been hid in God, who created all things by Jesus Christ, to the intent that now look at verse 10, to the intent, in other words, he created all things by Jesus Christ for this purpose, that now unto the principalities and powers in heavenly places might be known by the church the manifold wisdom of God. Now, again, the King James follows a lot of the Greek order here. But what he's saying is, this is why, okay? So these principalities were made by Jesus, for Jesus. Jesus made everything. So then he says, and the reason was that the manifold, if you read it backwards, you actually see what is being said. They were made, and we are made ministers of the gospel for this reason, so that the manifold wisdom of God might be made known to the principalities and powers by the church. So that's what he's saying. He said these principalities and powers are going to learn about the manifold wisdom of God, and who's going to teach them? The church. What does that mean? That means that the church is supposed to be proclaiming a gospel that will instruct the principalities and powers of how defeated they are.